So, I want you to just introduce yourself to everybody so they know who you are.
Word. I'm Cope, Kope. I'm from Durham, North Carolina. I'm up in the New England area right now. Make rap music. I do a little mixing and shit, but I'm an artist. Um, you can listen to me everywhere. Find it anywhere you can stream music. Just type Kope. Yeah, trying to be next one up.
Nice, nice. When did you get started with music?
So I took it down. I don't know why I did that, but you could have went on YouTube back in like I'd probably say I'm like in eighth grade, seventh, eighth grade. Me and my cousin. That's whenever Waka Flocka's "Oh Let's Do It" was everywhere. Me and my cousin, we started out. We just like fuck it. We was like, let's just rap, let's rap. And then I put up a freestyle, and then I think I just fell in love with rapping. There, I just took it serious at 18. So 18, I'm now forming Cope.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that was a fire track.
Outside of music, you do a lot of interesting things and you tweet a lot of interesting things as well.
Yeah, I'm an engineer outside of music, so I'm a programmer. I've been doing that. That's like forever. So that comes natural, and then I taught myself how to make music and things about music and shit like that. So yeah, I program, build apps, web apps, all that stuff like that.
Get into some of that. I want to know some of the things you created.
Um, so right before Siri was introduced, um, well, no, excuse me, Siri was already out. So right before they introduced the face recognition technology in the iPhones, I don't know, I was still in college, so a couple of years back. I started building this personal assistant like Siri. I started literally building her for free, like in Python, and I got it to like a working state. And then what I introduced was it was a library that a very smart gentleman, I think it's Call Me Gray or Age Me Gray, a developer on GitHub, very very talented guy. He created a facial recognition library. So what I would do is she would be a personal assistant. You can ask her questions, search things, just like Siri. And but a neat thing was I was building her to be able to sign in to your computer with her face. And I got there to that state, and then Apple was like, "Nah, I'm gonna put the infrared technology and the depth perception inside of the phone, and then fuck everything you were trying to get rich off of in college." So I created that, and then my boy had got a job. I don't want to talk about my employer, but my boy got a job at our employer now, and he came back to the university, and they were recruiting, and I was just chatting. He came by, he was like, "Yo, give me your resume." He snatched it. Got a call. They showed him my program. He showed him my program, and pretty much got the job. So I build a lot of healthcare stuff at the moment. That's as much as I give you about who I work for. I build a lot of healthcare stuff, um, and I probably helped a lot of people in the southeastern part of the U.S. As much as I'll say.
Okay, okay. That's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
You don't
Appreciate it.
meet too many people that program well. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Aren't you getting you program right?
Uh, I know I do a little bit,
Okay, all right, all right, all right. Hey, shit, we can chat about that too, like later though.
but yeah, man. So one of the tweets that that you put out there, I don't know when this was. You were developing something for producers through programming and coding and things like that.
Um, yeah, so that's still in its infancy. I've been doing a lot of Python work right now because that requires a lot of JavaScript and a lot of browser manipulation. Because it'll be downloadable, but my first concept was just to make it portable for all devices. Because when you download something, you gotta make it good for Mac, you gotta make it good for Windows, you gotta make it good for Linux. I just want something you can port to the browser, and usually, if any browser, you have to install JavaScript. So you'll have JavaScript on your computer. Open it like that. It's like in its infant stage. I haven't built on it, but I'll probably say February 2021. Should be straight.
Oh,
It's
oh,
it's I want an AI element to it, but I won't roll it out the first time because then I gotta push it back. But the synthesizer I want unique in its own way as far as who it's targeted for. Is it going to be the greatest, best thing out there? No, but it's fully customizable. And that's the point that it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to get your hands on. Because, if you look at a synthesizer, it's all these knobs, these waves. It's a lot of context you got to learn. So this one's kind of like, hey, let me take a little bit of that extra shit away. You just turn this, I'll tell you what you do, and, play with the sound. Because that's usually how you start music. You don't really be like, oh, let me learn all of the history. And then let me do it. You just be like, oh, that shit sound good. That sound good. That sound good. All right, I need a rapper. See how that shit go.
I showed your tweet to a veteran producer, and he was like, "Oh man, I like where this is going. This will be interesting. I want to see it, created."
Yeah, man. That just gave me some time and it'll work. I didn't know. I know you were intrigued because you liked the tweet. But you were the only one that engaged. So I knew I had someone interested, but just doing a lot of shit. But it's definitely coming.
Okay. And we got some more tweets to talk about.
I feel like I'm in trouble. What's up?
Well, you put I'm just saying you was talking shit. I don't know, but I think you was very serious. You basically the tweet kind of went like this, like, oh, okay, I'm taking out all my music. It's going on Tidal. If you want to, go find my music, it's only gonna be on Tidal, something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then I saw it was a post about Tidal and how people are, how they distribute the money for Tidal, and Tidal pays much more than all the other platforms. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. What what happened behind that?
Yeah, so my Twitter is gonna get me in trouble more than it's gonna get a lot of information out in the future. But I tweet like whatever, however I feel, I just say it. Or I taught myself to not hold back shit, so just say it. And sometimes they're spontaneous and they're taken out of context, and I might not actually do it in that fashion. What I'm trying to do is like, so this streaming game, I don't care who you see. They ain't got no label behind them. I don't care who it is. It could be, nigga, I could be making millions of streams independent right here, right now. I could be doing that. I could be on Spotify or whatever. Fuck the streams. You are not making money from that shit. You are not making a livable wage when it comes to where you need to be at. LA, New York, Houston's coming up, Miami, St. Broward County. The streams ain't enough. You gotta do shows. So it's like, if streams ain't enough, if Apple pay me more than Spotify, but niggas is telling me, yo, Spotify gotta be popping. So I gotta put more money into Spotify, somebody who pays me less. Then they say put music videos out because people gotta see visuals. I'm like, nigga, YouTube pays a fraction of that shit. So you telling me to put in a video minimum 400, 500, and that's just one location, that's a generous videographer because for a nice production, it's like 1,200 if it ain't a homie. You tell me put 1,200 in, I get 1,000 streams. I only get $7 from YouTube. 1,000 streams on Spotify, I think I get like 70 or some shit like that. And then 1,000 streams on Apple Music, like $15. But 1,000 on I think Tidal, don't quote me, it's probably like 18, 20. I'm getting more money for what I'm putting in. So it's like, but everybody's using this one company, Spotify, who's everywhere. Spotify got a Hulu deal. Spotify got bought, or something with Disney, something. Spotify's everywhere, my nigga. They're leading in music, but they pay the least, and everyone's telling you to make sure they're popping first. Make sure you get all the listeners. Make sure your shit looks dope on Spotify. I'm just like, bro, that don't make no fucking sense. Man. I need to make some money. Why would I go? Why do I have to worry about Spotify? I need money, nigga. Music is great now, and it's all about art and shit, but like, it's mouths to feed. I gotta, that shit's not gonna be enough. So I spontaneously said, fuck it, go to Tidal. But I'm gonna be real with you, looking at my analytics. I don't generate the audience that uses Tidal, or if they do, it's not many.
I remember when, Tidal, it kind of first came on the scene, it was real exciting when it first came. And then after, I don't know, maybe a month or two, of course, all the celebrities went on there, things like that, yada, yada. And I feel like that's kind of where that was the downfall. Like if you just had open to everybody, it would have been okay. And you'd probably be, it'd probably be in competition with Spotify today. Yeah. That's just me.
Man, it's all about capitalism.
Yeah.
Spotify thing is they pay the industry this money, and the industry allows and accepts certain things. and they get to divvy out the money in a certain way to certain people how they want to by region. I'm not gonna talk about the analytics of how it's even legal, but whatever. If Title cut the price, if Title then like said, hey, students, you get half off of that already cut price, and they make their shit a little bit doper as far as like put it on a PS4, put it on the Roku, what I have it on Roku, but put it on all those devices that you can put Spotify on, they could win. But first is the price. No one wants to pay $22.99 a month or some shit like that. What is $12.99? Some shit, something.
Right. And I know with Spotify, like on my tablet, I can just really browse my tablet like I do a computer. And I'll be like, wait a minute. Why would I pay if I can just go on a tablet and I do everything I do on my computer the same way? Like, why?
Yeah, that's smartphones. That's why smartphones is a big ass business. Put a computer in
Yeah.
your hand. Why would I need the other shit?
I mean, maybe one day, Copa come up with his own streaming service and, it just blows everybody out the
Multimedia,
water.
man. Yeah, man. I would all right. For whoever who listens to this, the best way to make money in any streaming platform right now, outside of sales and shit, is build a compression algorithm that shrinks the a gigabyte file into like a third of it. If someone, whoever's out there, even you, if you want to make money and this is how you make money video streaming. Build a compression algorithm that can shrink a gigabyte into a third of its size or even smaller. That's it.
I know people are gonna be like, "What is that? Like, explain this." I don't know if it takes really long to explain, but
it in a simple way. Whenever you upload a file, you filmed it in JPEG or what is a video format? MOV file or whatever. That has a certain that format has a certain size. Let's just say it's that video that music video is 3 gigs, right? So you have the service like YouTube. YouTube, I believe they said they upload 400 hours of video every second or every hour. So if only 3 minutes is or 3 minutes or so is 3 gigs, just put that in hours. So an hour-long movie is probably the size of a video game, right? So you're uploading the size of a video game and more every second. And you have to store that. So there's no way in hell you can store that in a regular format unless you just have a tower to space. Or so they build compression algorithms and they disperse the data in different locations and they figure out a way, hey, how do we take this format and shrink it down really small? So one, I can get it from this data center to you quick as hell, but that's over UDP. So it's packets loss and packets gain. We're not going to talk about that. Packets retrieved, excuse me. So you just got to find a way to take it from your format that you just uploaded it, squeeze it down and put it over here so I can allow millions of other people to do it too. So if you build a compression algorithm that can shrink something down really, really small and store it in resource intensive space, you could be a billionaire. You could be a billionaire, bro.
okay. The money making machine over there. All right.
Yeah. If you come up with it, hopefully cut me a check.
So, beyond all the programming, coding and all that, was it I don't remember you always having like your own studio space.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I remember maybe you did, but that probably may be the first time we've seen it on, like social media.
Nah. When y'all seen it, because y'all seen it in the early stage before I caged it up over here for the studio, for the booth. And before I got the pool table, the computer's on the pool table. But when I put it on social media is when I had like, this is the studio. This is very, very new within like April of this year.
How's it feel? Just do your own thing.
What is it? What's the math? 3 years, 3 times 365, not counting leap year. What is it? 1,095 days or some shit like that. Right, it is over 1,000 days for my own studio. So having it it's like an accomplishment. It's off the list. It's like shit. I can do this. All right. What else? What else do I got that I can see in my hand? Oh, this next thing. Next thing. Plus, it saves me a shitload of money because you can't go to a studio because of COVID. So shit.
And well, home studios are actually more popular now than they are, before, like
Very
way,
true.
but way when back. And
Yeah.
a lot of artists now are trying to learn how to engineer. Some are, some aren't.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I feel like you should, if you're gonna dip your hand in the pot, so to speak, learn a little bit of everything. Because you may
Mm-hmm.
want to, okay, say for instance, I don't know, you may want to have, you hear all these different sounds people are using with autotune and things like that, and you're like, okay, I
Yeah.
don't want to be in that particular sound space. I want to kind of create my own little sound. And you got the engineering to, kind of figure that out. Okay, what plugins do I use? What effects? Those kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, don't finish my phone.
But yeah, I think it's super interesting that when artists want to learn how to engineer instead of sitting in the background letting the actual engineer from the studio do the work.
I think I think it's important, but relationships are also important because if you know an artist is nothing without the engineer, because
Right.
you hear how you talking right now. If you kept unedited room noise voice over a track right now, wrapped it, it's a dub. It's a dub. It's not coming through good. I don't care how good you mix it. I don't care. Now you put that into, now you treat your environment. Now you record. Okay. You'll start to realize that it's a lot more to the studio than you think it is. Like people are getting the concept, yeah, you can do this shit in your room now. But it's still a lot of work because now that you just recorded it, you still have to make that shit sound good everywhere for everything. These shitty ass AirPods that just boomed. You got to make that sound good over $600 speakers a piece, 300 a piece. So it's like, duh, I'm gonna have better equipment in my studio than you gonna have. Okay, now you got to learn how to make that shit sound good everywhere, and that's the. You'll realize why 40 is also part. If Drake didn't have 40, we probably wouldn't have a Drake, and that's
Mm.
real shit. And he'll tell you. He said his team is worth everything because it's true. But yeah, learning how to mix your shit is great. When you're on the tour bus and you need to get something out, fuck, that's what SoundCloud is great for. I'm on tour, but I'm still recording shit. I made this just drop. Fuck the label. We're just gonna put this on SoundCloud for the fans. Mix that shit right there, put it out. It's great to learn. But when you need an album, I want to take my hands off eventually. Obviously, I'm independent right now. It's no need to. I'm learning. I'm teaching myself. I got the time. It's COVID. Let me learn this shit. But as you start elevating and start getting up, a lot of your time needs to be taken away from that business aspect or that aspect that's not really rapping. You know what I'm saying? If Wayne, there's a reason Kanye can take breaks. Kanye's a great artist. He puts out great songs, but he's a phenomenal producer. So when he disappears for 3 years, he didn't stop working. He just stopped releasing music. So that's what makes him phenomenal. Everybody isn't that. Wayne is a rapper. Wayne ain't no producer. He raps. So his engineers, they like his best friends, nigga, because they know Wayne. Yeah. So it's important. But learn when to step back. Jack of one trade, not jack of all. Get a taste of everything, but don't be that guy to say I want to do it all by myself. It won't work in your favor.
Right. And I've heard like some artists be like, oh, I did all this by myself, this, that, the other fourth. I'm like, sure you did. You still need to, you still had to find the beat. You didn't make the beat yourself now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm guilty of that, doing that. But I try to label it out like the writing, the recording, the mixing and mastering, yes, with me. And then on the credits of the stuff I put out the producers. I need to do a better job of shouting out the producer then and there. I do that a lot. I try to make my shit seem professional because if you go on Drake's album or Young Thug's album or whoever's album, you don't see produced by in there. And even when they advertise, you don't necessarily see the producer's name, but separate yourself. You look up to people or you look at people like I want to get there, but you gotta separate yourself and realize and humble yourself and say, nigga, you are not that big. You need to start showing some love better. So I be trying to I catch myself at that shit.
there was a interesting post of like good couple months back by this IG account called Cover Art Matters, and Cover Art Matters talked about like the how Spotify doesn't have like certain areas where they can credit everybody, like the graphic designer, like, oh, okay, who made your cover? We want to know, because I'll say majority artists don't really tag their person that makes their cover art. They just say, oh, okay, put it up, and then put the music up, and that's it.
Yeah. Damn, I did not think of that. And I don't know. I don't know why you treat the photographers like it's expected, or the videographers like it's expected, or the graphic designers like it's expected. I don't know why you do that, because the producers had to start fighting for their attention, and they eventually got it. Thanks to Metro Boomin, whether people want to believe it or not. Metro, Southside, all of them niggas. I I don't know, nigga. It happens in engineering a lot too. You start treating the QA, or you start treating testers, QA testers, quality assurance, and graphic designers. Because it's like, oh, the engineers, they do the development work. Please, I need this development work. But you got to start recognizing the dude testing that shit, because that's who's gonna make the difference between what you see and what we made. So we make a lot of mistakes. And if they weren't there, all those mistakes would happen, and then it would be a shitty fucking world. And imagine if they made a mistake with the Apollo missions. Well, some of them they did, but I'm saying that one chip right before they're about to land and they blew the fuck up. Like, if somebody wasn't testing that shit, that would be a shitty day. And even if the costume designer, which in that sense, let's call that the graphic designer, who was designing the suits, if they didn't think this shit out and get it right, catastrophe. So I think, I don't know, man. That's a good point to make. I advocated for it. Hey, give me a petition. I'll sign it. I'll make it happen.
One day.
One day. One at a time.
Out of everything you've done, one interesting part of what you've been doing, I noticed when you first launched your website, I was like, oh, Cope is putting music up only on his website for right now, and then he released it out to all these other streaming services maybe 5 days later, something like that. Or when you do like maybe like your special release, you say, okay, it's on my website first, buy it on my website, then it goes out to all the other platforms.
Yeah, yeah.
What inspired that? Because most artists don't even think to do that.
Money and control. Like I said, streams. Some people pay you monthly. I say Apple Music is pretty good at cutting that check monthly. No more than like 5 days or a week after the month is closed up, you're gonna see your sales. But a lot of people, like I got back sales from 3 months ago, still ain't reported from Spotify. Like, tells me not reported yet. So was it not enough money? Was it not significant money? We're not gonna talk about that. But control. Like, I wanted to see, because when on my website I could see like using PayPal, because it transfers through PayPal, it would tell me what region they were in, different stuff like that. I could make you a subscriber. So, hey, what if I do songs a month, but they're exclusive songs? So now that user can sign up for like $2.99 a month, $3 a month, and I get you a new song every month. That's some exclusive digital content or something. You know what I'm saying? So just control and money.
Okay. Essentially, it's like a Patreon of sorts, but through your own means that you have full control over. You control what goes in, what goes out.
Yeah, everything about it.
And like they say, every artist should have a website to some degree. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be like these like grand websites, because every business is different, every person is different, and everybody kind of have their own little things going on. But it's important that artists have a website to some degree. Regardless, apps have made it easier for people to create things on mobile, which is also an alternative as well. But from like what you've been doing on your website, I get inspired by that, and I like okay, everybody should kind of follow Cope's lead a little bit more. He's doing something.
Those resources are out there, and the thing is, I thought I was behind doing them. Like, if you really do some reading, you'll see people get your website, make sure you Spotify looks like this, get verified, do this, do. There's a lot of resources that tell artists what to do the right way and look professional. And then doing those and then still kind of not selling or getting out there like that. That's why sometimes it looks like bullshit, which I can understand why people like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it my way. Fuck it, I see Future do this, I see them niggas do this. I'm gonna do it that way. Are you Future? Are you a trap nigga? Or are you a nigga from an inner city somewhere that's just trying to make it? You know what I'm saying? Are you just trying to make sure your mom gets a nice car, you get a nice place? Like what are we really working for? Let's think about it. Like what are you really working for? What is successful to you? Having millions of dollars, yes, that could be successful, but can you operate a millionaire lifestyle? Could you operate a $500,000 lifestyle? What can you maintain? Because certain things require a certain amount of energy. So I mean, yeah.
That's true. That's true. It's, it's crazy how, artists say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to put this amount of budget into this particular video, things like that. And then sometimes they don't have like the marketing know-how or the people that can market their stuff the best way. They just say, okay, I'm going to see how my Instagram audience shares it, and that's my marketing plan. Yeah, it works to some degree, but yeah.
Hey man, shit, Bella Thorne sold a scam for $2 million. Shit, if it's the right person, shit can happen. Hey, maybe that's what I'm saying. It's who it works for. It's who it works for. Like a lot, and that's one thing the resources don't tell you. Like they tell you all of these things you can do, but no one's ever like matched up the demographics and was like, this type of artist who makes this type of music, maybe with this type of personality. Work with this. It's more so like do all the things and make it look good for you. And that's what pulls the right individuals out of that's what pulls that's where people get their attention from. They're like, oh wait, a lot of people doing this. He doing something, because a lot of people can make good music. That what makes you special? You know what I'm saying? I've heard people that you will never ever hear their music, and they play amazing. They perform amazing. A production is like, I'm like, bro, you doing this just like I'm doing this in your bedroom? Fuck. You'll never see them because there's nothing unique about how they look or what they or how they do it. What's unique is that they're phenomenal at it. Advertising it, they're not unique. That's just the thing.
And I've met plenty of artists that are good at what they do and how they do it, things like that. And I've helped out a couple of people get things on Spotify, throw some business content out there, say, hey, go watch this, go do that, listen to this, all that kind of stuff. And people have slowly but surely followed it, and they've gotten more serious, things like that. And it'll be interesting to see, what, at the end of the day, what everybody's goal is at the, I guess, what their end goal is, or what their, mid kind of tier goals are. Like you said, what do you, or how do you define success in terms of music?
Success, my definition of success, where I want to be at, I want to be able to sell out a tour. I want to, my real aspirations in music is just touring with people, like touring and sharing experiences with people, because I think music is very social. So to me, is to be able to survive, not only like go out and do a show and want to be welcomed by people and have the world like, yo, he just dropped a project, like, yo, like we got to be on this, but to also sell in a way that I don't always have to be on the road. Like, I want to make money. If shit like this happens, I don't want to be like, fuck, my random number $5 million lifestyle. I can't afford this $5 million lifestyle right now because I can't do shows. So it's one being able to share the experience of music with supporters. I don't like the word fan because I ain't big enough for the word fan. So supporters, being able to share that experience that I put in the studio with you on stage, and also being able to be sustainable by doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe the tour costs 20 million, but we making 50 million. A pandemic happened, but everybody's still eating. Not just me. Everybody's still eating. Because, like I said, what I said before, your team is very, very important. You know, joke, but if your producer stars and dies, I mean, a lot of niggas can replicate that shit, but it's not your producer, it's not your man. It's that's a dark, dark way to think about it. But you got to everybody got to eat.
Definitely. Out of, everything you've learned thus far, what would you have told your younger self with everything that you know now?
Don't be shy. I'm shy. I don't have stage fright. I'm just shy. You gotta sell yourself. Like I worked retail for years, like 4 or 5 years, um, and I just treated it like it was a job, and I took away a lot of smart marketability, selling shit. Like I said, everybody can do phenomenal shit. What makes you unique? What can you sell? My branding, brand, my nigga, brand. Start that shit early. Brand. Don't just think about it like an idea and be like, I'm gonna get to it. No, start it. Brand. Because people want to invest in the experience. Like people like to pay for tangible shit. That that's just materialistic. But why is traveling still so big? Why is going to the movies or going out to the club or going to the beach? Why nigga, it could cost you like $100 to get into a club, and it could cost you like a $500, $600 night. But you gonna wake up like, nigga, that shit was fucking lit. Like I paid for an experience. Other people came, nigga, it was lit. It's liquor. When we turn up, nigga, it's always a show. It's always something. It's you're paying for an experience, and that people just want to invest in an experience. You all the rappers are about to be alone. Hey, they might not be Gucci, but you gotta be alone on nigga. And shit like that. Like it's shit like that.
Okay, okay. So, what does a cope experience look like?
A cope experience. Hey man, I'm actually building that right now. Um, all about growth, like colors. The experience is like I want to start something I haven't even announced yet. I want to start because I've been building it like this smart home type of thing because we're stuck in the house. And I don't want to talk too much on it, but like being able to experience music through color. Like, cause everyone always has every studio you see these lights and stuff like that. They flash and they do all this bounce to audio. But being trapped inside, I figured I was trying to find a way to like when you look up at the stars and you get lost and how vast it is. How do you bring that amazement into something that you usually just consume audibly? That you can technically play in the background, you can focus on, you can write to, you can do all these stuff too. How can you submerge yourself into that? I've been trying to build, but the cope sound is man like it's mood music. You got to be in a particular mood. You don't just turn my shit on to certain things because I'm gonna tell you something. If you got heartbreak, if you're trying to get something out, if something happened to a family member or you're beefing with this person, you need to hear that particular song because I'm gonna say certain shit. It's like, damn, this nigga speaking, this nigga talking, and it's like that's why I know I don't get that much attention because I don't make bland music. I don't make like the bitches, the hoes, the money, the clothes. And it's not a bad thing. We rap about it, but I don't think it's unique.
Okay, okay. And just kind of, looking at, everything you said from like, it's kind of the inside out. You have like how you said, a distinct personality, especially when you're in your, moods of, wanting to be funny or dead serious about something or, whatever other emotion you're going through. And I can tell that you put every single emotion into whatever song you're doing.
Hmm. Hmm. What
So
what what about what exactly are you? Yeah.
So, I look forward to just kind of, what other emotions I'll see, from Cope and what, what other kind of interesting ideas he brings to the table. And, I, in all honesty, with your background, engineering, coding, those kind of things, uh, you could do some really powerful things. And I
Hmm.
see that happening.
One, thank you. I appreciate that. They're very kind words that I might not show it, but thank you. It kind of puts some pressure on you, like you got to get it right, but that's that good pressure. It's not a bad thing. I don't work. I think 3 steps in advance. I don't work 3 steps ahead. So I can't tell you what you might get in December. I can tell you what I'm feeling in the scope of 2 months. I can tell you if I'm planning to drop something. Like, no, excuse me. If I'm scheduling for something, that's different. If I'm because I'm spontaneous and I don't like to hold on to things. I don't hold grudges, and I'm down to hear what you have to say. If you can change my mind and it makes sense, I'm with it. So me getting that, if I apply that to music, I don't set necessarily a time that particular time that this project is meant for this time, but I will project a feeling that I feel like will resonate over a specific amount of time. Like this world is very weird so we're in a pandemic where we have constant police brutality. We keep getting shown this. I dropped an album that I said, this, truth be told, it's all truth. It's all how a young man is feeling right now about what's going on, his relationship with his father and how he views himself, his relationship with God, the situation that happened between his grandparents, and how he felt from it, a date. It was a lot of different things, and the cover itself had a lot of representation that I put out. I knew that right now that's what people needed to hear. And so I'm not going to release anything else until I feel like it's now time to not hear that anymore. That's what I'm getting at. I can't put it out unless it's time to change. So right now what I'm thinking about is some intellectual music. But the next thing to drop is going to be hype shit. Because I think right now we've been inside too much. You've been thinking too much. You've been reading books too much. You've been doing some shit to try to keep you distracted too much. Now you just need to like get a bottle, turn up, listen to just good music, but with a message behind it, with something behind it that you can hear. Not just bitches money, shit like that. So next thing I will tell you is hype shit. Hype mixtape.
Nice. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
And that reminded me of Lil Baby when he dropped I forgot the song name, but it was like a Black Lives Matter song.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And
yeah.
And it was, how do you say it? It was different. It was unexpected for me personally. I thought I was like, wait, Lil Baby dropped this? Okay. It's interesting. I was like, I don't know if it's, I was like, it could be all of marketing plea that his label cooked up, say, oh, hey, go do this. But, I'm like, hey, Lil Baby, it's Lil Baby. Lil Baby says how he feels and how he feels, how he feels. And you can tell that by his Twitter, even though he be tweeting out his lyrics half the time, but you can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Lil Baby is one of those people that's going to front for the label. I think he gonna really he gonna say and do what he wants to do. But yeah, right. That's why is the first thing we think about when people do something nice in the public eye is that marketing, right? It shows you how crooked we all view the world in our own little aspect. But I agree with you. Some people it looks like your heart ain't in it. You're just doing it to do it. But Lil Baby, I think it was very important. It was very important for him to do that because he speaks to a demographic that doesn't necessarily listen to my music, but doesn't necessarily mean I don't relate to them, or maybe I come from that exact same area. Remember, I'm from the South, not from East Durham. I'll niggas who know that understand that. Hey, like that was very important for him to say. Because he talks for those people, and I talk for whoever listens to me. Or we might be talking to the same people. So very important. Sometimes even if it's bullshit, it might be important that you do it.
Who are some of your inspirations?
Slick Rick, Kanye West, Drake in the aspect that not how determined you can be that you can get yourself somewhere. It's that no matter what you did before, there's always something you can do after. He could have been a phenomenal actor, but he knew what he wanted to do. So Drake for one of those, and he moved to music, and that was the best thing for him. So making sure he made the right decisions for himself. Tribe Called Quest. The dynamic of, I feel like when they rap, they were brothers with different personalities. Like grew up in the same house, they understood each other. We just seen it from a different point of view. That's how I felt like with them. Missy Elliott, and there's another one. Tyler Creator was there. That's the one. Tyler Creator was there before, simply because he came at my youth. You know, you're always attached to that one artist that's like he talked to you when you were like a teenager, like puberty, emotions. Fuck people. But I fuck with him because he was like, he's the first one I really heard that was like, no, fuck that shit. Do it exactly you like to do, because you're not living for anybody else, nigga. Like, it's you. Like, you gotta be you. And I thought that nigga's message was so powerful, it got him banned in New Zealand. That shit was fucking lit at the time. So yeah, Tyler the Creator. And Earl Sweatshirt for being a studier of music. He studier of words, of poetry and music. He's a very intellectual guy, and that's it. I fuck with a lot of people, but as far as inspired, that's about it.
Where can we find you on social media?
Kopeiam, at Kopeam, everywhere. If it's not that it is not me.